he won club contest, he won area contest, went all the way to district humorous speech contest, and he was placed the first runner-up. In the first year of Toastmasters, he went on to perform stand-up comedy, not just only in Brunei, not just only in Malaysia, not just only in Singapore, but all the way to the other part of the world, in England. Not only is it performing, he's doing workshop, humorous workshop like Ruben has mentioned. And he teaches people on how to be funny and tell them, if you're not funny, I can help you to be funny. He inspired everyone that they can be funny. And he called them comics. Now, last year, when Zainal was being placed first runner-up in the area contest, which Ruben has mentioned, now he wasn't hurt. He had this light bulb, and he said to himself, how can I enjoy stand-up comedy as a comic and at the same time as an audience? And the best way is to have a community. So this community was founded, it was called Bru Haha. Now, in Toastmasters we talk about leadership, we talk about communication. There's this particular high-performance leadership in which it enhances and solidifies both of these techniques so that you become a better leader yourself. Tonight, Zainal will share with you the vision that he has for Bru Haha and the I want this, and this. What are this? We'll talk about that tonight in itself. So without further ado, can we please invite the man behind this great vision, Mr. Bru Haha.
It was half an hour before showtime. The chairs are ready, the comics are trying to rehearse, and I'm trying to put on a brave front. I'm walking around and saying, you ready? Not really? It's okay, it's okay. You ready? Not really? It's okay. Well, in fact, I myself was not ready. So we've been running this workshop for a couple of weeks. I managed to pull a few comics together. And I managed to convince 60 of our friends to show up in a location at Ruben's office and sit through a Saturday night where we attempt to make them laugh. The guests are trickling in. And suddenly I feel anxiety. I decided to step outside where I met one of my friends, and she brought a stranger who none of the comics knew, and no one I knew. And I told them beforehand, I said, this is going to be the first show. I need everyone to be biasly supportive. Find the most positive, loud laughing people and drag them here. So I assumed this friend was one of those. So I introduced myself, and then our mutual friend said, this is Zainal. He's the one who put this all together. And the friend looked at me, said, today is a Saturday night. Yeah, I know. This better be worth it. So the seats are filled, the doors are closed, and I'm looking across the room, and our MC for the first show, Ruben, looked back, and he said, and I looked at him and said, I guess so. He looked around with ease and confidence, knowing that he's not performing tonight. And he said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bru Haha Comedy Night. The crowd went wild. Now, before I share with you what happened at this show, for those who don't know, Bru Haha Comedy Night is a show, it's like a monthly show that we aspire to be, where we put on stand-up comedy shows. Now, what is stand-up comedy? Stand-up comedy sounds is when people stand up in front of a crowd and tell jokes. Now you might be thinking like, knock-knock jokes? Your mama so fat jokes? Sometimes. In fact, stand-up comedy, or something else has been called, throughout history has been one of the most ancient forms of entertainment. There was no television, there were no plays. It was just a man or woman and a crowd telling stories. That was it. We had rural justice, we had clowns, and then eventually in the 1960s, we had stand-up comics. My introduction to stand-up comedy came in A-levels, roughly around 10 years ago. So, 10 years ago. Anyways, 10 years ago, I was introduced to a man of Indian birth from Canada named Russell Peters. Now, if you don't know who Russell Peters are, you guys need to go on YouTube, check him out. And he's the guy who came up with this phrase. Say, Russell! Somebody. I'm not gonna say who, but somebody is gonna get a real, get hurt real bad. Now when I first saw him perform, I cracked up. It was amazing. And I thought to myself, people do this professionally? Friends, yeah. But you gotta be funny. Oh, okay. That was me. At that time, I was taking 3 sciences and maths, and I was learning how to be an engineer. So not me. And then I became an engineer. And one of those engineering assignments I was sent to Singapore. Now, at this point, I was already a Toastmaster. I've had 2 years of experience, and I kind of believe that public speaking is a skill. It's not a trait. It's not an inborn genetic trait. It's a skill that you can learn. So once I reached Singapore, one of my friends brought me to a stand-up comedy show. And this is the first time I've seen a stand-up comedy show live. And it was in a dark bar, and we had people from all over the country, from all over the world, Singapore's quite diverse, coming in and telling jokes. And these weren't just political, sexual, or racist jokes. We had a mom of 2 coming in, telling us stories about the daughters. We had a husband telling about struggles of being married, and a wife who's also talking about struggles of being married. And I'm thinking to myself, you can just not swear, you can just tell stories and it'll be funny. And the main man that I looked up to was the host, this Australian man. And I went to him afterwards, I said, can you teach me how to be funny? I said, yeah, I can. It's a skill. You can learn how to be funny. And I said, teach me. And he looked at me and he saw this man so excited and he said, no. I said, why not? Because all these people come up after me, after the show, wanting to learn how to be funny. But I always say no, because they don't really want to be. They don't put on the time, they don't put on the effort. I tell you what, Mr. Short Bunayan Man. You go on stage next week with no guidance. Give 3 minutes of your best shot, and then we'll talk after. I said, yeah. I came second, humorous contest in Toastmaster, I can do this. So I wrote some notes, it took 1 week, I practiced myself, and I went on. And I gave a brilliant speech. And out of the 30 people who listened for 3 minutes, none of them laughed. I was devastated. I came down, and then the man came up to me, stretched to me, like, chap, let's talk. Wow. And that was the first time that anyone opened my eyes and mind to comedy as being a skill. Taught me that there's rules, there's structures, there's time where you become unfunny for a purpose and hit them up later. How you use your attitudes, how you use your body, how you use your gestures, and furthermore, how you use your stage time. So that's the most important thing. Some people are naturally funny, they don't put in the effort, they don't become good. He told me that the most important thing for you, if you want to become better, is to have stage time. He told me that 2 years ago. So last year when I competed against Alan and came second, I was devastated. Don't believe what they said. I was devastated. I can't believe it. I went to Singapore. I had one-on-one coaching time with this Australian madman who told me that I can be funny, and I lost to Alan. And I said to myself, I want to be better next year. So selfishly, I told everyone, we should get together and go on stage. And you guys can tell 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 5 minutes there, and then I take up half an hour at the end. Because I want the stage time. So I put on the first show. But something else happened. For some odd reason, people listened. People listened when I told them that it could be funny. It's a skill. People listened. The audience came, and then when I asked them afterwards, why did you guys come? Why did you guys have so much fun? And they said, there's movies, there's series, but looking at comedy live is a throwback to the old ancient skill of storytelling. It's an actual human and human connecting, actually seeing it live. It's no longer a screen in the middle. And I asked the comics, why do you listen to me? Why do you want to try again? Why do you want to learn this skill? And they said, I've never thought I had it in me until I stepped on the stage. One of them said, I knew I was kind of funny, but I didn't know that I could make so many people laugh. The other one said, I never knew I had it in me until someone told me, someone was you. So that's 2014. What's in store for 2015? I'm encouraged and my comics are excited. And from the workshops, we now have an actual syllabus. It runs 3 weeks long, 3 sessions long, on 3 Sundays. And in this workshop, we learn the tools and exercises, how to ignite your creativity, how to find topics that are authentic to you, how to connect with the audience. You learn about time.